Hello, how are you?
Good. Dara, hi. How are you?
I'm doing well today. Just a little tired, but that's what the average law student is.
Well, thank you for taking time out of your schedule. Can we come in?
Sure, come in.
So, who are you?
My name is Dara Ferguson. I'm the president of HBLSA. I'm also from Queens, New York, and I'm a third year law student here.
So, what is HBLSA?
HBLSA is the Harvard Black Law Students Association. It was founded in 1967 here at Harvard Law.
And where are we right now?
We're in the HBLSA office.
So, what's keeping you busy these days as a 3L?
You know, everything's keeping me busy, from my presidency here at HBLSA to studying for the MPRE, taking classes, finding time to spend time with my friends. The day goes on.
I definitely feel that. So, I heard you designed this office by yourself. Is that true?
I designed it with the help of a lot of people. So we started this office project last year and getting the office together and cleaned. And then this year, at the top of the year, I wanted to brighten it up and freshen it up. So this back wall, we see has a burgundy accent. That was like my doing. I love a little burgundy, but also, crimson. And then we have these white walls, as well as we hung art. Brenna, our chief of staff, helped us drill holes to put art together. We organized it and designed it. And so it's a space for students to come and hang out.
So, why is this space important to you?
I think that Black people deserve to have a space on campus. And at Harvard Law, a school not traditionally founded and created for Black people, I think it's nice to have a space in which we can gather and be ourselves.
So, we've got some questions from you from the HBLSA Instagram. Do you mind if we ask them?
Sure, come take a seat.
Thank you. How did you feel when you received your acceptance letter to Harvard?
I was grateful. I think getting into Harvard is always everyone's dream, and it was my dream. And so for me, I thought like it was a surreal moment for me.
And what are your thoughts on gap years?
I think gap years are important. I think taking time to find yourself and really just hone in on what you love and what you don't love before you take your next step is key into developing yourself as an individual.
What did you do during your gap year?
So during my gap year, I worked at Bloomberg LP in New York. Since I'm originally from New York, it was nice to be back at home. And I was a financial product analyst, and as well as I worked in data compliance.
What inspires you on hard days?
What inspires me on hard days? I would say my faith in God, and just believing and understanding that taking every day by day is necessary in getting through.
The people want to know, what's your favorite thing about leading BALSA?
I think my favorite thing about leading BALSA is, I would say, getting to know Black people. I think being on campus here at Harvard Law, what you realize is that you're in class with a lot of individuals, but not a lot of individuals look like you. So having space to talk with people, learn about where they're from, what got them here, as well as just being Black and being free is like my favorite part of BALSA.
What's one thing you wish you knew in your early 20s?
Okay, one thing I wish I knew in my early 20s, I would say every yes is not an opportunity and every no is not a setback.
Ooh, we like that. Do you have a favorite class at HLS?
I would say that my favorite class at HLS has to be TAW, Trial Advocacy Workshop. I think that TAW allows you to really understand what it is to be a lawyer. It allows you to work on your public speaking skills, be in front of a court, in front of a judge in a courtroom, and really hone in on like, how do you examine someone? How do you cross-examine someone? How do you make an argument? And those, I think, are skill sets that are tangible, as well as things that you could take away from.
If you could change one thing about HBLSA, what would it be?
If I could change one thing about HBLSA, it would be the size of our community. Right now, we're about 200 strong. Let's see 300. I need us to roll deep out in here.
And lastly, a committee member would like to know, how do we become fly like you?
You know, buy Black. This is a Hanifa fit. And you want to know this? Just buy Black, invest in Black people, and you can just become just as fly.
All right, thank you. So, Dara, how would you describe your style?
I would say my style is a mix of trendy, chic. I have a lot of Amazon couture, as well as some fashion designer pieces as well. I like to mix and match, for sure.
For those moving to Boston, what's a must-have piece of clothing?
What's a must-have piece of clothing? I would say, Should I be stereotypical and say Uggs or maybe a puffer vest? Let's go with Uggs.
Okay. What's your current hot take?
My current hot take, I have a lot of hot takes, but the one that kind of gets the people going is I don't like plantains at all.
You mean plantains?
I mean plantains.
What songs describes how you're feeling right now?
What song describes how I'm feeling right now? This is a difficult one. We might have to come back.
Okay. What are you most excited about these days?
I'm most excited about graduating. 3 years of law school is hard, and so I'm ready to get out here, make some change, and spend it.
What's one thing most people don't know about you?
I think one thing that... Would you like a drink?
Yes, of course.
Here you go.
Thank you.
One thing that most people don't know about me? I would say that I like to make flower arrangements on the weekends.
Ooh, can I get one?
Of course, for sure.
What's your least favorite thing about being in law school?
My least favorite thing about being in law school, besides going to classes? I would say that everyone likes to argue. I think that being a lawyer is not necessarily about arguing your point all the time. It's about listening. And I feel like sometimes people forget to listen.
What's your favorite part of the office?
Well, glad you asked. So come over here. My favorite part of the office has to be the library. Right here we have a library of books that students can rent and that they can look at, use in the office for their academic capabilities and learning and just being equitable in terms of being able to have students rent books here on campus.
Ooh. What is one book everyone must read?
I have 3 for you. Homegoing by Yagayasi, Beloved by Toni Morrison, and Kindred by Octavia Butler.
Ooh, thank you. I would definitely add that.
Please do.
What's your favorite place to study?
Outside of here, my favorite place to study would be Lewis, the Lewis building.
And is there a class that every law student should take?
I would say TAW, so Trial Advocacy Workshop, the class that I talked about before.
And what was your favorite class during 1L year?
That's a hard one. I would say my favorite class during 1L year has to be Civil Procedure.
And what was your least favorite class during 1L year?
My least favorite class? Constitutional Law.
I feel that. What are 3 things you can't live without?
3 things I can't live without? This is difficult. I would say my family, my phone, and my nail appointments.
Oh, interesting. Give a 1L an advice.
Some 1L advice, I would say to give yourself grace. Law school is difficult, but grace is necessary.
I like that a lot. What is the most difficult thing about being a law student?
Your time. Your time is not yours.
Do you have a favorite building at HLS?
Yes, my favorite building is my favorite second study spot, which is Lewis.
Can you take us there?
Sure, let's go.
So what advice would you give a 2L?
What advice would I give a 2L? That would have to be make friends and enjoy the moment.
Can we ask you some rapid fire questions as we head to Lewis?
Sure, let's go.
All right. Pick one. New York or LA?
New York, all day.
Early bird or night owl?
Night owl.
Salty or sweet?
I would say a mix of both.
Night in or night out?
I love going to the club with my girls, so night out.
Roommate or living alone?
Living alone.
Biking or driving?
Ooh. Driving.
I heard your love language was gifts. Expensive gifts or homemade gifts?
Thoughtful gifts.
Ooh. So, where are we right now?
We're on Harvard Law's campus, so we just walked out of Hastings Hall, and we're heading towards the Lewis building, which is right here.
And what is the best compliment you've ever received?
I would say the best compliment I ever received has to be, someone who didn't know me who said I was caring.
Oh, that's very sweet.
Yeah.
And what is your least favorite thing about Harvard Law School?
My least favorite thing about Harvard Law School is how they allocate their resources. They act really cheap here.
I understand that. What advice would you tell someone currently applying to law school?
I would say take your time and make sure that when you're doing your application process, you really get to know yourself so the application reader gets to know you as well.
And how long should you study for the LSAT?
I would say you should study as long as you need, because sometimes people are working, sometimes people are only studying.
And what's the best way to study for the LSAT?
The best way to study? I don't know. Everyone has their different strengths and weaknesses.
So tell me, is Harvard hard?
Yeah.
Is there anything you cannot do?
Yeah, there's a lot of things I can't do.
Like
I should
what?
learn how to sew.
Do you have time to party as a law student?
I feel like you have to make time for what you want.
And is it true that it's hard to find love in law school?
Very.
Are you excited for graduation?
I'm very excited for graduation. I'm excited to move back to New York.
And what do you plan to do after law school in New York?
I plan to work at Skadden Arps in New York.
Ooh. And what do you know now that you wish you knew before going to law school?
What do I know now? Never sign a contract that you don't read.
Ooh, I would definitely take that into account. What's a stereotype about Harvard that holds true?
Everyone says they go to a school in Boston.
And what is something about Harvard that surprised you?
The people.
What part of law school are you the most passionate about?
I would say learning about social justice issues and how I could help my community.
And how do you prevent burnout?
Take naps a lot.
Why should people apply to Harvard?
I say that you should apply to Harvard because shoot your shot.
And what should everyone do when they get to Harvard?
I think everyone should find a place in which they can relax.
Finally, can you leave a message for 16-year-old Dara?
Yeah. The message that I would leave 16-year-old Dara would be follow your dreams and don't let anyone tell you no.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dara. This has been perfect.
Bye.